A lot of carnivore dieters have been blowing off the vitamin C issue. The gurus and teachers, senior scientists, their view is that the small amount you can get on the diet is enough. Here's Bart a couple of years ago in a live stream.
And it means I have more time to talk to you all and to do the research that's required around making good quality videos and saying things to you that are scientifically supportable and sensible, unlike other pundits online who just come online and say whatever the fuck they like Garth Davis, for example, whose really, really ridiculous video the other week. He came on and the first thing he said was, "Oh, you carnivores, you can't get any vitamin C." I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, are you kidding me? Are you serious, Garth? A carnivore can't get any vitamin C. You heard it here first from Dr. Garth Davis.
Right there, Bart is mixing apples and oranges. Garth wasn't talking about real carnivores. He was referring to people who eat a carnivore diet. Carnivorous animals actually make their own vitamin C, and a lot of it, more than just about any human gets. Humans don't make any vitamin C, but it seems like Bart would have carnivore dieters think that they don't even need to worry about vitamin C, the way he just blows it off there.
For example, whose really, really ridiculous video the other week, he came on and the first thing he said...
Now, doctors in Australia are blaming poor modern diets for a rise in the number of people suffering from scurvy. The disease, which is caused by a chronic lack of vitamin C, has been diagnosed in 7 diabetic patients at a hospital in Sydney. The doctors say some may have been trying to avoid fresh fruit as a way of managing blood sugar levels. Scurvy is historically associated with sailors. But Captain Cook, on his voyages of discovery, insisted on a fruit-rich diet to avoid the disease. Cases in modern times are usually due to lack of healthy foods, such as with those who are on fad diets. With this case here, we're hearing that a number of patients were not eating fruits and vegetables because of concern of sugar levels.
Now, this is pretty concerning because there's been a lot of talk recently in the media on obviously sugar intake, and actually you've still got to be careful that we're getting that balance in our diet. Scurvy is prevented with enough vitamin C, and vitamin C is linked to the collagen production in our bodies, so all the connective tissues. If you don't have the connective tissue in place, then your joints are going to suffer. You can get bleeding internally in the joints, bleeding in the gum area and the teeth, feel very weak. If I'm being honest about this, scurvy in particular, it is pretty shocking, especially in Australia where they have such access to beautiful fruit. It is very surprising. So hopefully we're not going to see more cases elsewhere now the awareness is being raised again.
Also, when you don't get enough vitamin C, it affects the utilization of other nutrients which use vitamin C. Nutrients working together isn't something a lot of YouTubers are talking about, which is why I give some credit to Frank Tufano, who brought it up a few weeks back. And again, that reminds me of how a YouTuber can dispense a lot of good information, even when it's within their overall message of bullshit. The vitamin C question was posed to Dr. Shawn Baker in this video here. So let's see what Shawn Baker's response is to the idea that the fad carnivore diet could give you scurvy.
We know the human body can't synthesize this, and it's something we need to get through the diet. And we know in history that humans who haven't had it have gotten scurvy, which is really serious. So how does somebody like you eating meat, or primarily meat, make sure you're getting vitamin C?
Yeah, so there's a lot of thought, and we can't say definitively, but we know historically that people that were suffering from scurvy, if they had access to fresh meat, that scurvy went away.
Well, let's say that's true. Problem there is how many people have access to fresh meat. I think by fresh he means not the stuff sitting in the store for many days, but real fresh, like hunting fresh. Hardly anyone's going to become a hunter. And what do people in the city have to hunt? So Baker is about to talk about why carnivores are not getting scurvy. And as we heard before, scurvy will affect your joints, ligaments. Maybe the connective tissue around Shawn's throat is weakening. So I think he could use some fruit, along with a better webcam.
When we think about, well, what's going on? Why haven't I gotten scurvy? Why haven't the thousands of other people gotten scurvy? And there's, I saw something with James Blunt talking about how he might have had scurvy 20 years ago when he ate chicken and mayonnaise and ground beef and beer, and felt tired, and his doctor said, well, he must have scurvy, therefore he has scurvy, without any real testing. But
Really? I don't think doctors are that bad. You don't diagnose someone with scurvy, a deadly disease, without doing a test.
I think that what we're seeing is, one of the thoughts is, we know that, vitamin C does compete with glucose through different transporters. So there's glucose and vitamin C are very similar structurally when we look at it. From a structure, they share the same transporter from across many membranes, whether it's through the enterocyte, across mitochondrial membranes. Probably more important than that, we do have the ability to recycle.
I don't know Shawn Baker well, so I'm wondering, does he know what he's talking about? He is an orthopedic surgeon, so that doesn't mean he knows what he's talking about here with all this. And he goes on for a while talking about all these reasons why he doesn't need as much vitamin C.
We also know that uric acid will increase. Most people don't know that uric acid is a antioxidant. Now, most people associate it with gout, and that's a different topic, but many people will see elevations in uric acid not getting gout, but it may also take off some of the pressure of vitamin C requirements. And then also we know that
there's that word may. I remember 6 years ago warning you about that word.
Vitamin C is also responsible for hydroxylation of proline and lysine, which are components that go into building connective tissue, collagen. We know that we have intact transporters for both hydroxylysine and hydroxyproline within our gut, so we can uptake those nutrients in their entirety without having to do it through vitamin C.
All this stuff he's saying here sounds real flimsy, and I don't know about this stuff, but it sounds like the way someone would talk if they're trying to trick you.
So there's a lot of reasons why we probably don't get scurvy.
And that's a good place to stick in this clip, a clip I used a few days ago.
Although the carnivore diet does contain some vitamin C, and you certainly won't develop scurvy following it, the amount is nowhere near ideal. Without enough vitamin C, you won't be able to optimize your antioxidant capacity. Imagine you're getting all of these B vitamins from steak for glutathione. Your vitamin E is good and not oxidized because you're consuming high quality pasture-raised eggs, grass-fed. I became very sick after nearly 8 years of following a carnivore diet.
You want to take a vitamin C supplement, you're welcome to, and there's some people that actually do that, and there's a few people say it's made them feel better. We can go back historically and say, well, these people got adequate vitamin C.
But do you want to get adequate vitamin C? Enough to stay alive? Prevent scurvy? Or do you want to get enough to be healthy?